Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a beautiful Wednesday morning. Welcome to the beginning of a brand new day in your life. And the possibilities are endless. Today here on Exploring Sacred, I am so delighted to have two young women who are going to help us explore the sacredness of being a woman, and in particularly, the intimate parts of being a woman, those parts of us that sometimes we even have trouble talking about or mentioning or saying. Good morning, Danielle. Welcome into the chat room. But we're going to talk about this morning. We're going to talk about vaginas, and we're going to talk about ovaries, and we're going to talk about vulvas, and we're going to talk about taking care of these very sacred parts of our femininity. And I have with me this morning Caitlin and Becky, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves to each and every one of you, wherever you happen to be around Grandmother Earth at this time. Good morning, Caitlin.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Denise, so much for having us on today. And this is such an amazing topic to be talking about. It's something that, even though I've been a woman for 30 years of this life, it's still a new journey to really be embarking on with this kind of awareness and being shown these ancient techniques that really bring us back to our true selves and our nature and connecting with Mother Earth. So I'm just so grateful to be here. And today I'll really be talking about the yoga portion. We do have an event coming up this weekend, and we're combining yoga with Yoni steaming, and it really is such a beautiful blend. And so my work is with yoga and really helping to bring awareness into the body and to find healing through that awareness. And so, so I'm just grateful to be here.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that. Becky, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yep, so my name is Becky Hayter. I am a Reiki practitioner, a well woman healer. I focus on the postpartum, but I help women through several modalities. Like I said, Reiki, I do Yoni steaming, and I'm a certified Yoni steam practitioner. Through my own trials and struggles as a woman, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all the things, I have implemented these healing modalities, ancient traditions into my life, and I've seen amazing results. And now I just want to scream it from the rooftops to everyone that there are ways for us to heal and to be fully thriving in this life. And now it's my life's passion, and I steam vaginas for a living.
Isn't that wonderful? And one of the things that caught my attention is the word yoni. And you're getting lots and lots of wonderful kudos in the chat room from women who are saying, thank you for talking about this, by the way. The word yoni, would you describe that and the meaning of it? And why is it used in this context?
Yeah, so the word yoni is actually a sacred it's actually a word that is Sanskrit, ancient primal language, and it means sacred temple. And this word is so beautiful, and I love it. Instead of using, segmented parts of a woman's reproductive system, it covers the physical, emotional, spiritual, the total embodiment of that space from the vagina, the vulva, interior, exterior of that space on our bodies. And it really gives not more credit to the space, but it really encompasses, the word is more encompassing than just saying vaginal steam or even saying the word vagina, because we know that that's just one of the portions of the physical body.
Exactly. And, here in the West, I believe, it's far more difficult for women to even say the word menstrual or period or those words. And luckily and thankfully, I think that there's a movement now, a period of enlightenment about the sacredness of reproductive organs, the entirety of it from, men and women. And in particular, referring to our divine femininity as the sacred temple, I think puts a new light, and particularly for young women that are just now learning about that. You know, for those of us in our 50s and 60s, and chime in here with me, Carla Jo, we certainly didn't use any terms such as sacred, you know, going to high school and going through all of those courses that we were made to go through to describe our divine femininity. And one of the things that I would like to say to both of you is thank you, because you're bringing to light something that needs to be brought to light on many levels. For instance, at my foundation, Gathering Thunder, we're beginning to work with the Native Justice Coalition, Grand Valley American Indian Lodge, to raise awareness of murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls and Two-Spirit people. And a lot of this reason for the sex slave trade, et cetera, is because somewhere along the line, the notion of us being sacred and our sexuality being sacred was lost. Would you talk about that for just a moment, Caitlin?
Wow, I'm really glad that you touched on that, because I feel that it needs to be brought into the light, and you did such a beautiful way of introducing it. And I do feel that, and part of just bringing awareness into the body is healing those beliefs that society has really instilled in us at an unconscious level over many, 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 many years. And now, in today's age, we can shed light on that. It doesn't have to be that way. And so I think for men and women to really be more in tune with the divine feminine and honoring the goddess within all that lives, the divine goddesses, you know, the creator of life, and that womb space is a space of creation, and we wouldn't be here without that. And just really bringing back the sacredness of it and knowing that it is something to honor and to take care of and to observe and to love. And I think a lot of that, too, is getting back in tune with nature, being more in tune with the natural cycles of nature, which is why I've also been in tune with the moon and its cycles more recently. And I think it's a good way to learn how to release and to create with the flow of the moon and the flow of Mother Earth. So it's a big thing that we're all experiencing on an unconscious level, and it really is bringing awareness to this and honoring that sacredness. Becky, do you have anything else to add?
Well, I think what you said is beautiful, and I absolutely agree. And you know, women have been disconnected from our bodies. We've been, you know, to go far back, we've been burned at the stake for being who we are, for standing in our power. And we are reclaiming that. We're finally realizing, oh my gosh, we have been so suppressed, and we have been, you know, Indigenous peoples being torn from their land, being told that they're not really connected the way that they have been, stripped of their beliefs, and that's not okay. This new generation of people, this new energy that's coming onto this earth is creating a fire inside of us, and we're not allowing this to happen anymore. We're remembering that these ancient traditions don't need to tear us apart. They can bring us together. And I think that that's exactly this. We have so much stress in this modern world. And now we're realizing we can take these ancient traditions that are so beautiful and they're so connecting, and we practice them now because we're remembering.
I love that. And, you know, I think it's also, it can be very true as well here in the West. We forget that all of us are from tribal people. All of us, no matter where our people came from, or those of you that are in other countries listening to the three of us right now, we are all tribal at the root of who we are. And in the tribe, taking care of the sacred, including the sacredness of our human body, always was. And I love that you're both speaking to the reconnection and the new energies that are coming here to grandmother at this time to begin re-honoring what has been deemed by some things you just don't talk about. Carla Joe, one of the gals in the chat room, she's also a teacher at the School of Sacred Studies and practicing, what does she call it? A solitary practitioner. Pagan practitioner is saying that even back in her day, having your period was referred to as the curse. In Native America, I pour sweat lodges. I have been trained and authorized to pour sweats, inipis. And I've always been taught that that time of the month, which is referred to as being on our moon time, is when a woman is most powerful. And that's why a woman won't go into Inipi, Sweat Lodge, or UEP, or any of the other ceremonies because of the potency and the beautiful power. And that's just one teaching, but I believe that the teachings around the world are very similar. There's a thread of truth. And I love that you're both working in partnership because clearly you honor the body through yoga and through the many wellness therapies that you both facilitate. I'm very curious about something, Becky. How is it that one day you came to decide that you wanted to be somebody who facilitates Yoni steaming? Where did that come from?
Yeah, well, I feel like it was very divinely guided, like a lot of the path that I've been on. I was looking for a postpartum doula training because I was feeling the pull to help women because I struggled deeply in the postpartum, physically, emotionally, all of those things. I started searching around town here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and was guided to the Innate Traditions postpartum training. I did that in 2017, and I get there, and I learned this thing called Yoni steaming, and that was the first lesson that I learned about there, and that because it was root to crown care, and in caring for our root chakra, we steam after we have babies because it's traditionally a postpartum practice. But I had never heard of it before, and it just, I kept hearing this voice in my head that was like, oh my gosh, you have to steam. This is going to help you. You know, I have my own struggles myself. I was having really low libido. I was having anxiety. I was feeling like there was something wrong with me. So, and I knew that it wasn't wrong with me. It was my body was communicating with me. It was telling me something's off balance.
Right.
So I went to the training, like I said, and we were instructed as practitioners to, to have integrity and to bring integrity to this practice and to really support women in an authentic way. We needed to come up with our own steam plan, or our own postpartum care package for ourselves so that we could receive that care because we're going to be caring for other women.
Wow.
And so I created a whole package for myself that I now offer to women. And one of the things that it included was this Yoni steaming, because I used to get really anxious before I would be on my moon cycle. And I started doing it, and I noticed, oh, I feel really relaxed. I don't have that anxiety anymore. And then I noticed, oh my gosh, I've got some brown blood coming out of my cycle. That's really interesting. And then I noticed again, I don't have that brown blood anymore. What's going on here? Sex, I want to have sex more often. And it was just slowly creating these positive changes in my life. And I was like, I have to get this to other women. I have to share this. And that's what brought me to where I am.
And if somebody wants to learn more about what it is that you are both facilitating on Sunday, what is a good way to find out and to participate in the event on Sunday, which is an actual Yoni steaming ceremony?
Yes. So we have a Facebook event page, and you can find it on my website or my Facebook page, which is Sacred Self Pathways. We're doing this event at Grassroots Studio in Grand Rapids at 9 a.m. this Sunday.
Okay.
The 23rd. So it's for the new moon. And if anyone has any questions, I'll make sure to post the event or send you the event so people can see it.
Perfect. And I will ask you to post that right in the group page for Temple Within Radio. And that way people who are listening to us, maybe it's tomorrow that they will hear us wherever they happen to be, maybe in Asia. Or what have you. And so I will group all of that information, everyone right there on the group page, Temple Within Radio on Facebook. I'm curious about something, both of you. So I have quite a dynamic duo here with Becky and Caitlin, in that one is a yoga instructor, wellness practitioner. One is wellness practitioner, Yoni, STEAM facilitator. And it's all about honoring the body, honoring the energies of the body. And from what I've read and listening to your really terrific YouTube interview with Jennifer Ann, am I to assume, or am I correct, that this particular protocol, this steaming, will assist people, women, who have suffered through some form of sexual trauma? And whether that is molestation or sexual violence or maybe pregnancy and delivery that was traumatic, will that also help the mind and the heart, the emotions?
Yes, that is a beautiful, potent question. And that's what I love about this practice so much, is that it's not just going to help with the physical. When I steam, it really does open up my heart. We're dealing with this central meridian and the governing meridian between our legs and in this powerful energy center space of the yoni. And when we sit down and we breathe and we allow that alchemy to happen below us, because we're sitting over herbal steam, herbal tea, the elements, earth, wind, fire, and if you even want to consider it like the metal pot, it's true alchemy, and it calms the spirit. Mm-hmm. It taps us into that vagus nerve to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, and it really does change the cells of our body. For me, I feel openness in my heart, my heart center. It almost feels like it's beaming out, and then it does just open up my mind, because anytime you're not actively thinking and having resistant thoughts, you are allowing that life force energy to flow through you. Mm-hmm. You are opening yourself up to what can be, that peace inside, that space in our heart as well. And that's where the healing happens. That's when our body can slow down, and all of the chemicals that aid in the healing ability of our body. It allows our body to get back to that homeostasis, and it's beyond powerful. It's one of those things that I can't really explain. It's more you have to feel it when you're actually sitting over the steam to understand what it feels like and how it could possibly be so powerful.
Thank you for that. Many people, when they find out that I pour sweat lodges, will say to me, number one, they will ask, if I come into your sweat lodge, your NEP, will we be naked? Is everything that's said and shared in the NEP sacred? And what happens afterward? Those are some basic questions. And I know many of the women that are listening in have been inside my NEP where we aren't naked. And everything is held very sacred. What happens and is shared in the NEP stays right there with spirit. And afterward, we always spend some time around the the fire, not the sacred fire, but the gathering fire to share and to be with one another. What is it like for somebody who is thinking, you know what, I think I might do this on Sunday? What should they expect and how should they dress?
Yeah, so on Sunday morning, this event is going to be one like we've never done before. This is the first time Caitlin and I are coming together to pool our individual, I'll just say, powers and magic and our passions together. And so women will arrive, and I would say just wear comfy clothes. Wear some, loose leggings or yoga pants and, baggy shirt. And bring a journal. There'll be lots of time for introspection and reflection. You'll do a 40-minute yoga flow with Caitlin. And then after that, we will do probably about a half hour total of the sacred Yoni steaming. I'll do a guided meditation for the women, and we will all steam for about 10 to 15 minutes. And it will just be relaxing. Nobody has to take their clothes off in front of each other. That is one of the questions that a lot of women ask. Will I be naked? Will I see someone else's vagina? No, absolutely not. I'll have skirts for everybody to change into, and they can change in a separate changing room. And then when they come back and they decide, and it's time to steam, we feel the steam to make sure it's a really good temperature. It should never be too hot. That's such a societal thing where, oh my gosh, women are burning themselves steaming. Well, we need to practice with integrity, right? If it feels too hot on our hands, let's not sit our sensitive yoni over that. Let's stand up if it's too warm and honor our bodies. And then when you're sitting, you just get to breathe and relax. And I wrap you in a really cozy, soft blanket. And you just sometimes I'll do events where women want to chat the whole time and ask questions. But I think this event, we're really going to allow ourselves to go inward, and I'll have some quiet music playing. Maybe some singing bowls will be on or be played, and we'll be able to just hear our body's messages. What is your womb? What is your womb trying to say to you? What do you need to know? When we listen to our bodies, we get messages. Sometimes we shove them down. We pretend like we're not hearing it, but this will give us a time to really reflect and listen to our bodies.
Beautiful. Caitlin, I have a question for you concerning the yoga part.
Yes.
I, for many years, have had a practice of yoga, if you want to call it that. I'm certainly not adept as you are, but yoga for me has helped me through many times in my life. And it can be intense. So if there are women who are coming who have never done yoga and may feel a little intimidated by, oh my goodness, number one, yoga instructors always look so fabulous in their yoga, right? And I don't. And so will you talk about the fact that it will be comfortable for people of all skill levels, and it isn't something, it's not a glamorous beauty pageant that goes on. I mean, when I go to yoga, I'm certainly not looking like the instructor, let's just say. I am comfy, ladies, and comfort is key. And I am not as adept as everybody else, and certainly not the instructor. Is that taken into consideration with participants who are new to yoga? That's my question for you.
Yes, that is such a great question. And anyone that is feeling like you're feeling, this is the perfect event to come to. We are really honoring this sacred space and honoring ourselves, our true selves, and really remembering who that is. So yes, be yourself. No makeup is required, and be comfortable. I know that can be intimidating. A lot of what we're doing here, Becky and I, can be intimidating, especially if you've never done it before. But we're really opening up this space to be safe and to be open, to be yourselves, and to really have that time and space to look inward. And for the yoga portion, We'll only be doing 6 postures together. It will be very restorative and very gentle. We'll be sitting in these postures using props. We'll be using pillows and blankets. It will be a very comfortable practice. And I'll also have Jennifer Ann there to help me, so I'll have an assistant, as we may use 5 or 6 bolsters or pillows and blankets. So you'll be very propped up, very comfortable. And then there'll also be gentle music in the background, and we're there with the breath and the body. We'll sit in each posture for 3 to 5 minutes. At times you may feel some discomfort, and it's a good opportunity to practice breathing through that and listening to the body and the messages that it is telling you. This event is supposed to be very introspective and getting back to your true self. So being quiet enough to listen, and when the discomfort comes, not to run away, but to really look at it and to notice how then it does pass. And we won't stay there forever. We'll move then into another posture, and we'll sit with that. But they are comfortable postures. So you don't even need to wear leggings. You can wear looser pants even. No one will be judging you. This is a completely open space. Mm-hmm. If you know the postures and their Sanskrit, that's great. And if you have no idea what we're doing, I will be there to guide you and to help you find your comfortable position. I'm really excited about this, more excited than any other workshop that I've been a part of, especially for women, because it is so important for us to take care of ourselves. And society doesn't always lead us to believing that. But the more we nurture ourselves and we mother ourselves, then the more we can show up and live our life more fully. And I think that this is a great practice that you can continue within the comfort of your home, but there's also so much to be healed and to be experienced by coming together as a community of women. It's so empowering to do our inner work, but then to do it together. And I think the healing really is magnified. So I'm just feeling blessed and fortunate to be working with Becky and the amazing women that we're with, and with you, Denise. So yes, if you're intimidated at all, don't be. It will be very gentle, very comfortable, and it's all about you.
I love that. So lastly, ladies, is it open to all ages, and how much is it to attend this wonderful event?
Yeah, it's open to all ages, all women. I would even, we hadn't really talked about it being open to young girls, but I think that whatever age and range this resonates with you, I think answer the call, show up. We would love to have you. The event price is $35, and it includes the entire 2 hours, 9 to 11. And we always say, just because the event is done doesn't mean you can't connect with us, talk with us, share your experiences. So I think it's just going to be a great time for connecting with women and, giving women the resources and access to us so that we can do this healing work together.
I love that. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you for sharing about something that's really important to us women. And many of us, especially after 30, 40, some 50, 60, some women put all of this just on a shelf, depending on the experiences in their life. And they wonder where their passion went. They wonder where their juicy bits went. And I think this is a wonderful gathering here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, that will be happening this Sunday with Caitlin Johns and Becky Haderer. And again, everybody, you can find them on Facebook, and I will have many more postings there on the Temple Within Radio group page, as well as the Exploring Sacred page on Facebook. Grassroots Studio in Grand Rapids on Sunday is the place it's going to be happening, and to find them on Facebook, Sacred Self Pathways on Facebook, and a really great website, theremedyhouse.org. Thank you, ladies, for joining me today, and thank you for presenting this wonderful opportunity in Grand Rapids.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a beautiful day, everybody. And you know what I'm going to say, because I always say it every Wednesday. Get out there and shine as only you can shine. Blessings be, everybody.